Hi everybody, my name is Austin Hirschberger and this is my intro video for EDL 850, Module 1. About me, I grew up in Heston, Kansas. Heston is central Kansas, about 30 minutes north of Wichita. Went to the University of Kansas and graduated in 2015 with my bachelor's in health and physical education. I currently still live in Lawrence, Kansas. I live with my wife. We've been married for almost 6 years. She is also in education and teaches SPED here in Lawrence. We have a son who is almost 3 years old, and we have two dogs named Gunner and Breezy, pictured over there on the left. Some of my hobbies include fishing, hunting, golfing, and woodworking. Also a huge Chiefs, Royals, and obviously a KU fan. And then kind of Fort Hays state-wise, this is going to be my last course in my program, and I hope to graduate this coming May. Professionally, this is my 6th year of teaching. 3rd year in my current position, which is a K-5 physical education teacher in the Basehor-Linwood School District. Basehor is located about halfway between Lawrence and Kansas City, so I've got about a 30-minute drive. Prior to this position, I taught adapted PE in the Washburn Rural School District, which is in Topeka. That was a K-12 job, and it was really interesting working with students of all ages and all kinds of different special needs. Some of my current extra duties, I'm a 7th grade assistant football coach. I also am an assistant baseball coach at the high school. And then on top of the physical education duties, I do a little bit of MTSS reading interventions, and I'm also on our building leadership team. Moving on to the review of the resources on government control and public education. What kinds of supports do public schools receive at the following levels of government? From a federal standpoint, their role in public education is really limited. Funds from the Department of Education, Department of Health and Human Services, Head Start program, and Department of Agriculture school lunch program. Those are the most of the funds that go towards public education, which is approximately about 8% of schools' funding. They have the responsibility to ensure the right to a free and high-quality education for all K-12 students by protecting their civil rights and by providing resources for the most in need, which I'll touch on here in the next few slides. They also provide Title I, VI, and VII funding. From a state standpoint, they provide nearly half of schools' operating costs. They also provide oversight and guidance to local school boards and set Common Core standards if they're adopted by the states and benchmarks for student achievement in reading and math. From a local standpoint, they establish the curricula, combined with state, provide over half of the funding. From a local standpoint, it's 44% of school funds and funds the rest of the budget through primarily local property taxes. Who is in charge of these various levels regarding education? Federal, the U.S. Department of Education. The current secretary is Miguel Cardona. Duties and responsibilities. This would be a salary position. Regulate and enforce educational reforms passed by Congress. Federal legislation and laws such as Elementary and Secondary Education Act, FERPA, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, etc. State, who is in control of that. The state has the most control over public education. It's the Kansas State Board of Education here in Kansas. The commissioner of that is Randy Watson. This is also a salary position, and some of his duties and responsibilities include establishing educational standards, passing laws governing school practices, Common Core benchmarks in reading and math, authority to legislate and set requirements for graduation. At a local level, it would be the Board of Education for each district. In my district in Basehor-Linwood, our Board of Education president is Dana Miller. This is a volunteer position. In some districts, school board members are elected. Some of her duties and responsibilities and other board members' responsibilities are to establish district-level policies that align with state legislature, review the district budget, salary schedule, supplemental pay, etc., required approval for all hirings and dismissals, and they govern proposals brought forth by the superintendent. Which of the three levels of government has the most control over component 6.1? Actually, for all of these components, I felt that it was mostly the local school board. They're the ones that are more involved with students and are monitoring their data, reflecting and evaluating upon some of the policies that have been implemented. I think at each school, your school board probably has the most to do with each of these standards. How does all of this support the educational success and well-being of each student and adult? The federal government ensures equal opportunity for each and every student through various acts, FERPA, IDEA. The state and local levels must adhere to these laws, but have the authority to and should establish standards and curriculum that establish guidelines for student learning. Local policies protect the instructional time for students and ensure that schools are a safe place for students and staff. Here are my references. And thank you for watching my video. I look forward to hearing from everybody else, and I hope that we have a great 8 weeks.